We'll get the confirmation on his last name very quickly here. He lost playing for top 8 the last time we were here for Legacy, playing Mono Red Prison.
Love it.
Nick is currently talking to our spotter. Our spotter is going to talk in that headset. Then intern Rob's going to talk to me, and we're going to make sure Nicholas's last name is right.
I like Nicholas's list.
Yeah?
There is just no garbage here.
I'm a big fan of
no garbage.
And the last name is Beland.
4 Trinisphere. 4 Blood Moon creatures. 3 Magus of the Moon, 4 Simeon Spirit Guide, 4 Legion Warboss, 4 Goblin Rabble Master, 4 Chandra Torture Defiance.
Ross is going to start things off in the Mox Diamond and a Bayou. There's a City of Traders. This is a Lotus Petal, and...
Talk to me.
He's going to talk all right.
Talk to me about
Blood Moon. It's really good against Dark Depths. Gonna crop rotate. Okay. What's the plan here there, Merriam?
I'm guessing he would want a basic here.
Swamp.
Is Merriam playing with any copies of Abrupt Decay or such?
Let's go ahead and dial up the old deck list here for Ross and Balls. I know he's got him in a 75. It'd be crazy to leave home without him. And Ross is a pretty crazy cat, but not that crazy, as Blood Moon has resolved.
What are the outs to a resolved Blood Moon?
Beat downs with Hex Mage, obviously. Just a mountain there for Nicholas after. Ross has 4 Abrupt Decays main.
Okay.
So he's got a way out of this for sure. There's a Goblin Rabble Master. Pretty good clock when it's there.
Yeah. You don't want to be sitting here waiting forever. If Merriam finds a copy of Abrupt Decay, that could end the game right away.
Ross looks like he's going to take a point of damage. Now, do keep in mind, Ross did take at least 1 mulligan this game, as he'll play a Nurturing...
A mountain.
Peatland.
He played a mountain.
Excuse me.
That's a mountain.
That's my bad. So is that Ancient Tomb, then. How about that? Uh-oh, big follow-up. Maybe a Planeswalker? Oh, fiery
yeah.
Confluence.
Don't mind if I do.
Down goes the Mox Diamond.
That's 4. Is that 4 to Merriam?
I think so. Yeah. That's a pretty good beating.
And that's a ton of trouble now for Merriam because he cannot cast Abrupt Decay even if he draws it.
Nah, he's
Tap
dead.
out.
Yeah, he's dead. There we go. Nicholas Beland's gonna
love it. You love to see it.
He's gonna. He wins game 1 over Ross Merriam very quickly. Mono Red Prison very quickly up a game over at Golgari Depths. The power of Blood Moon, too much for Ross to overcome. We take a look at the sideboards here. You'll find 3 Pithing Needle, 3 Hymn to Torok, 2 Plague Engineer, 2 Grafdigger's Cage, 5 1-ofs, Force of Vigor, Sylvan Safekeeper, Liliana the Last Hope, Assassin's Trophy to go along with those Abrupt Decays, and a Dryad Armor.
The big thing here is just some interaction for lock pieces. Force of Vigor and Assassin's Trophy will be major here for Ross. Maybe Hymn to Torak, maybe not. The Mono Red Prison deck definitely ends up with uneven hands that can be attached by discard, but also a lot of their best stuff happens on the first or second turn. There's no guarantee that Hymn will even be fast enough, so could take it or leave it.
All right, well, take a look at the sideboards here for Nicholas, who won that game very quickly. He's got 4 Leyline of the Void, 3 Scab Clan Berserker, 2 Sulfur Elemental, 2 Abrade, 2 Sorcerer's Spyglass, a Chandra, Awaken Inferno, and the Bridge.
Probably want the extra copy of Ensnaring Bridge. The Sorcerer's Spyglass seems good for this matchup as well.
You know, this Mono Red Prison deck, it's interesting insofar as its matchups are very polarized, and if its thing that it's doing doesn't work, like we saw yesterday from Wilson Hunter, it looks pretty bad.
Well, I think in the deck's position in the metagame has gotten a little bit worse now that people are incorporating so many snow basics along with Astrolabe. It's really, I think, dampened the impact of Blood Moon. We're just seeing a lot fewer Blood Moons in people's sideboards, generally speaking, but there are still plenty of decks that are vulnerable to some element of this, be it the Blood Moon effects, be it Transfer, be it Ensnaring Bridge. You've got a lock piece for everyone. I think it's just that Blood Moon has gone down in quality as that piece.
Well, those are the options there for everybody. It's all well and good. Let's talk about our Season 2 schedule here very quickly, folks, where we've gone a lot of places here in June and July, and honestly August. It's crazy to think that we're already in September. We were in Pittsburgh, Worcester, Philly, Columbus, You and I were not in Richmond.
No.
We weren't in Dallas. We're here in Syracuse. And we won't be in Philadelphia, but Matthias Hunt and Emma Handy will be joining you there along with a couple others. That's going to be an awesome show because that's our release weekend for Throne of Eldraine. And that set's looking really cool. After that, Patrick, where are we going?
Well, a lot more to do in October with the Modern Open in Indianapolis and then the regional championships. You can head over to go.starcityggames.com/regionals for more information. That will be October 19th, and the format is Modern. Then a Modern Open in Atlanta, October 26th and 27th. November features SCGCon Winter, featuring the Star City Games Invitational. That's November 14th through the 17th. And then to round out the year, the Star City Games Players Championship, December 13th through 15th from Roanoke, Virginia.
Let's talk playmats very quickly here, folks. Get a lot of them in October if you do join us at our events, like Captain's Quarters, illustrated by Titus Lunter for our Standard Open and Classic players. For our Modern Open and Classic players, it's all about Aurora's Light, illustrated by the insanely talented John Avon. And then for our Legacy Open and Classic players like those here in Syracuse this weekend, Ripped from Reality, illustrated by Mark Teeden. Again, these playmats are free and exclusive with entry in any Open, Classic, Infinite Challenge, or sealed spectacular package. Go.starcitygames.com/schedule for more information. As these players taking a look at their opening hands here for game number 2, Nick and Ross checking in at 10-2, 9-2-1 respectively. Still very much in top 8 contention are both of these players. Nicholas very quickly up a game, and he's going to send his hand back. Looks like Ross is going to keep this go around. Been nice covering Legacy today. I've enjoyed it. We've seen a little bit of everything thus far. Looks like the format, I can say this and be pretty happy about it, pretty healthy.
Yeah, it's been, so for those of you who are complaining about the format's always just these blue decks and it's just brainstorms and that's the only thing that's going on. This tournament, this format, I think has seen more diversity and more representation from the non-blue decks than any I can really recall.
That sounds right to me. I mean, it honestly feels like there's a lot of playable decks now. Where for a little while there, I remember you and I covering a lot of events, and there was a while where Grixis Delver was really the only thing that was reasonable to play. There was a while there where Joe Lissette was cleaning up everybody with miracles.
Yep.
And that was really the only thing to really be doing. So it's nice to see that there are a lot more options now, or at least it appears to be that way, and I'll take that. As here's a Thought Seize. It shows you a hand here from Nicholas that has a Blood Moon and nothing else. 2 Lotus Petals, Simian Spirit Guide, a Chrome Mox, and a Mountain.
Fine 6-card hand here. Would have had the opportunity to have a little bit of ongoing mana alongside a turn 1 Blood Moon. Now the hand is just some mana.
Well, he's playing a bunch of Lotus Petals and a Mountain, but no payoff, so Ross faded that draw step. This will be a Forest, so basics are online. There's Elvish Reclaimer. If you're Ross, you're not under the gun from anything right now, as there's an Ancient Tomb. Though that might be changing. Nah, we're going to the monkey mode.
Yeah, time to go beat downs.
Ever heard of monkey beatdowns, folks?
Nicholas has plenty of mana to work with here, so can afford to just cast the Simian Spirit Guide.
Ross does have a copy of Dark Depths in hand. Doesn't appear as though he has Thespian Stage yet, though. There is a Wasteland there, too, if he for some reason wants to let that rip on the Ancient Tomb. And he will. Maybe a little surprised by that, but that's the play he's going to make. There's a Mountain. And now Ross is going to do a little bit of reclaiming. He's going to sacrifice a basic Swamp. He'll get himself a Dark Depths. Elvish Reclaimer, of course, at 2020 rare. Elf Warrior, that's a 1-2, so it does get around Renin 6. Elvish Reclaimer gets +2/+2 as long as there are 3 or more land cards in your graveyard, currently 2 here for Merriam. And you saw him activate that ability, sacrifice a land after you pay 2 mana and tap the Reclaimer. Search your library for a land card, that means any land card. Put it onto the battlefield tapped and shelf your library. Ross going to make sure the coast is clear. That is a Thought Seize. This is a Vampire Hexmage, which means we've got a 2020 Avatar on the way, and I don't think Nicholas has a way out of this. He'll draw one more card.
And Snaring Bridge is the draw to get,
well,
he doesn't have it.
He doesn't have that. So Ross Merriam's going to very quickly win game number 2 over Nicholas. This deck is all about making 2020s very quickly, and it did just that. Merriam ties it up.
So, I think that if you have always wanted to see what Legacy looked like if blue was on more even footing, this weekend's been really fun.
Well, Game number 3 is going to be underway. Don't forget, we got a time-shifted match to bring you guys as well. This match is not taking very long. You can see the clock. We're just about to go under 40 minutes, so these players are not wasting any time. We'll have another match to bring you at some point this round, but for now, we want to tell you what everyone's really playing towards, not only here in Syracuse, but all year long. It's that Players' Championship that's taking place in Roanoke, Virginia, a little bit later on this year.
It's been a while, but I feel like I've seen this movie before. Pass the turn back. Is it a top deck?
Oh
it's
my
a
God.
Pendlehaven. Pump and attack? Is this real?
Oh my God. Oh no.
December 13th through the 15th. StarCityGames.com Players Championship. 16 competitors. $50,000. And one winner. And it could be Joe Lissette once again. He's your reigning champion. He'll be in Roanoke later this year. We look forward to seeing Joe there. And everybody else who will qualify for that tournament. Right now, we've got a Colin Roundtree. He won our SCGCon Summer Invitational. We've got a Oliver Tomiko, an Abe Corrigan, and your boy, Matthew Dilks.
Mm-hmm. The Hitman.
That's 5 of our 16. Hitman didn't put up a great performance this weekend, unfortunately. But you can't win them all, as they say.
No.
So these players, we're taking a look at their opening hand here in just a moment. Remember, winner of this match is going to be in prime position to make top 8 through 13 rounds. They probably would have a loss to give. Maybe not for Ross because of that draw, but you have to imagine that's prime position with another winner. So to get into the elimination rounds here in Syracuse, a building where we've crowned a lot of champions on the SCG Tour. It's a great stop for us. We love coming here.
Usually on the big cuts, though, it's usually not a clean cut on the big day 2s.
Now remember, this is key. Play draw in this matchup is a world of difference because if Ross is on the play, he can fire off a discard spell, break up Nicholas's hand very easily. However, Nicholas on the play can go turn 1 Blood Moon, turn 1 Magus of the Moon, turn 1 Trinisphere, something like that, and then Ross will have some difficulty even having the opportunity to play.
Right.
So these are things you have to think about here if you're Ross. Not a lot you can do about it. You just got to hope as Nicholas is taking the mulligan. Though, you know what? As we've talked about a little bit here this weekend with the London Mulligan rule, this is definitely a deck, this Mono Red Prison deck, that is pretty happy with the London Mulligan, right?
Especially because, your hands are just so much about what goes on the first turn.
Yeah.
And as long as you can piece something together that your opponent might not be able to play through, if you're down a handful of cards, doesn't really matter.
So Nicholas will take that mulligan, see if he can find a better hand, and get to work on that London Mulligan rule. And I think that looks a little bit better as he puts a card to the bottom. Looks like he has an Ensnaring Bridge in hand too. Now you got to remember, as here is a Lotus Petal, okay, so he's going beatdowns.
Yep.
Which, all right, Rabble Master, look, it doesn't take long to kill the opponent.
No, and I mean, if Ross's hand is devoted to being able to answer artifacts and enchantments, the other lock pieces, this might be an angle of attack he's not really ready for.
Now, it's not like Ross doesn't have an answer, and it's not like Ross isn't capable of making a 20-20 on the second turn of the game. He can work through this. Here's a Thoughtseize. It's Ensnaring Bridge, Fiery Confluence, and a Mountain.
And this hand's a little bit tough because if you want to make the game a pure race, the Fiery Confluence is good there. And if you try to answer back with a fast Merit Lage, the Ensnaring Bridge plays too. So both of these cards, even though they're extremely different, work pretty well alongside Beland's opening.
Decisions. If you're Ross Merriam, that's why you see him taking a moment here, because this is a hand that Ross has right now that can't really make a turn to 2020 because he played a Swamp First. It had it been an Urborg, the story is different because then you can play Dark Depths plus Hexmage and make a 2020. We've seen that so many times with this deck, but this does not look like a hand that can do it. That said, he's going to take the, well, maybe.
Well, if it's close, if these two cards are about as bad for Merriam as the other, then you would just take the Ensnaring Bridge because it's the one that can be cast. Fiery Confluence requires another land and another red source of mana.
Yeah, the scary thing about the Confluence, though, is it can deal so much damage.
Yeah, oh, it's 6 points.
Yeah, I mean, 6 in this racing situation.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible that Ross just dies.
It might just be both of these cards are really hard to beat. I should just take the one that he can actually cast for sure.
Fair enough. Well, he's going to take the Ensnaring Bridge. And we are going to head back over to Nicholas. Nicholas will draw. You know he's got that mountain, the Fiery Confluence. There is a mountain. What do we got here? Is this maybe another Rabble Master? Oh, boy.
Oh, this is very fast clock now.
This is quite the punishment now. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 8?
Yeah, I mean, turn 2 Abrupt Decay, turn 3 Merit Lage I do not think is going to be fast enough.
No.
There.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that speaks volumes, doesn't it?
To say nothing of Fiery Confluence is left over.
Yep,
so
dead.
Yep.
Just dead. The perfect draw step there for Nicholas is another Rabble Master. He's going to win this match over Ross Merriam 2-1. Mono Red